"1997 is a year best remembered for movies such as Titanic and Men in Black. Titanic was the winner of the Best Picture award for that year, and Men in Black spawned a franchise. But we're here to talk about another movie that's not talked about as much. But it's one of, if not the last official film noirs to come out of Hollywood. A little film called LA Confidential. This video will contain spoilers, so if you're sensitive to them, I'd suggest that you click away from this video and watch the movie first. It is well worth your time if you're into detective noir stories. From this point on, I reserve the right to spoil the movie. LA Confidential is a fantastic detective noir story, filled to the brim with talented actors, stellar writing, and a rarity amongst the film noir genre. A happy ending, making it, to me, one of the best movies of its kind. The movie is primarily about three police officers. Officer Bud White, played by Russell Crowe, is on a quest to prove to the department and to himself that he is more than just a brutish thug. Detective Edmund Exley, played by Guy Pearce, is extremely ambitious and a cunning cop who uses his smarts to quickly rise the ranks. But will he be able to maintain his moral compass as he gets a taste of his new power? And finally, we have Detective Jack Vincennes, played by Kevin Spacey. He's content with where he is, working in Vice as a somewhat corrupt police officer that almost never puts in an ounce of honest work. Willing to go as far as stage stories with the help of his contact at the head of Hush Hush magazine, Sid Hutchins, played by Danny DeVito. But one night, one of the people he wronged is murdered. Will he rise to the occasion and do the right thing? If you were around during the 90s, or even the 2000s, you might already be impressed with the cast so far. But the movie doesn't stop there. You can also add Kim Basinger and James Cromwell to the list of an already stellar cast. Everyone is at their A game. Russell Crowe is dynamic as Bud White. You can feel the rage and frustration that Bud feels throughout most of the movie. But he does get room to express other emotions like guilt or sorrow. One of the standout moments for me was during an interrogation scene, where the suspect reveals that they're holding a woman captive. White does not tolerate crimes like this because of what happened to him as a kid. So he completely loses control and lashes out at the convict. You have to watch the scene to truly understand the emotion of the character. I can hardly do justice to this performance by describing it. The slow tension building up, his attempts to control his rage by using a chair, which symbolizes Bud's loss of control. It creaks under the pressure until it finally snaps, just like Bud, and he puts a gun to one of the suspects, threatening to kill him if he doesn't answer the question. Then there's Kevin Spacey. Whatever kind of a person he may be, as an actor, he was phenomenal. Just because I think he's a good actor, though, it doesn't reflect my opinion of him as a person. It's important to make the distinction when talking about the stuff online. Anyway, Spacey's on fire in this movie, saying so much with very few words. Jack Vincennes is a talkative character, but that's just a facade. You can see the real Vincennes in scenes where he isn't talking. There are a few rare moments when Vincennes is being real. One of the times is during a scene between him and Exley. Exley tells him why he chose to become a cop, and then asks Jack,
"Why'd you become a cop?"
And after a long silence, Jack comes to a realization and simply says,
"I don't remember."
But he really shines when his story comes to an end, when in the end, he is shot. The way he plays the part of a man dying because of a gunshot is hauntingly realistic. One of the best death scenes I've seen in a movie in a long time. It is truly remarkable. Compared to the other two, Guy Pearce may not get to shine as much, but he has a strong performance in a different way. Every scene that he is in is him trying to maintain authority. When he speaks, he is stoic and hard to read, but make no mistake, he is also a powerhouse in the movie, especially during a scene when he learns of an important piece of information from a character, but doesn't want the character to know that he now suspects him. The realization can be seen on his face by the audience, but that's because the camera is close to the character, and there's a subtle musical cue. The person standing in front of him wouldn't notice the change in the expression. Speaking of music, LA Confidential very rarely makes any use of it. Occasionally you can hear period-appropriate music, mostly during montages, making it like an advertisement for the City of Angels. Other times, the music is diegetic, used to add some atmosphere to a scene that often has minimal dialogue. It's only during the more intense scenes that the non-diegetic music kicks in, and even then, it's only for brief moments, enhancing the scene even further. The lack of music only adds to the feeling of realism the movie aims for. One of the best examples of this is the scene where Jack Vincennes dies. There's no music to tell you if you're supposed to feel sad or shocked. It respects the audience enough to come to their own conclusion about what they should feel. The scene starts with a casual conversation between two people, and then, BAM! Loud and sudden gunshot. This just highlights the impact of the shot, and Kevin Spacey completely nails the performance. A word of warning that the movie does not shy away from a bit of gore and nudity. But the intention is important. The intent here is to make the story and the scene more authentic, to sell the lie, and not to exploit, so it doesn't feel like it exists for its own sake. One of the best examples of the aforementioned story beat, where an innocent person dies partly because of what Jack Vincennes does earlier in the movie. Jack has a change of heart and tries to talk the kid out of it, but he's too late. You and Jack see the body of a man at the same time. Jack is horrified and filled with regret. After ensuring the area secured, he can barely stand as he looks at the body. And the body seems to stare right back at him. His slit throat is directly in the frame to show the brutality of his murder, and his empty, judgmental gaze looking at Jack, making him feel the guilt of what he did. It's a joy to see men with such different personalities and morality come to the same conclusion about doing the right thing. Jack, even after realizing he's about to die, makes a move that ensures the killer will be caught, so he dies laughing, taunting his killer. Bud and Exley put aside their differences when they realize they're both after the same thing. Exley comes to respect Bud's intelligence, while Bud comes to respect the fact that Exley is willing to destroy the case that made him because it was built on a web of lies, all to do the right thing. And then you see the most obvious trait about the two that you might not have noticed throughout the movie. Ed and Bud are the perfect cop duo. Ed has the brains, while Bud has the brawn. Their interrogation of the district attorney really shows how well they can work together. The movie has a runtime of about 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it's mostly people talking to each other, but it's a testament to the writing, direction, and the performances that it doesn't feel that long. LA Confidential is one of the best movies to come out of the 90s. Every scene, every character feeds into the plot, even the minor ones. And I, of course, am a sucker for strong and capable heroes doing everything they can to make sure that the bad guy doesn't get away with it. LA Confidential has aged remarkably well, so I can safely say that unlike most of the movies of the 90s, this one has a timeless quality to it. So give it a watch sometime. You'll be in for a great mystery.